This is cosy. What a great place to do this.
Little beer garden, in fact.
It feels like a HRC beer garden, this Taz. This is what this feels like. So, Petronas MIE Racing, Honda, HRC, all of the above.
I think it's
2020
Petronas MIE Honda team. I think that's what it's called.
That'll do. And 2021 Bennett's British Superbike champion.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Taz McKenzie. Taz, welcome back, mate. How are you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. First home round for me as a full-time rider, so really looking forward to the weekend.
Talk to me about the season so far.
Yeah, it's been character building, definitely, to put it one way. Testing was difficult. We were still very far behind with bike development and stuff. We arrived in Phillip Island with the best package we could at that kind of time frame we had. First race went far better than expected. Started on the second to last row and in the rain ended up finishing 5th in that first race, which was really good. And at that point I thought, this is quite easy. I'm not on the best potential bike we could have, and I finished 5th. I'm like, when we get a better bike I can be at the front, no problem. But it's not quite worked out like that. It's been a little bit more difficult. We went to Mandalika and scored some more points there, as well as my teammate. And then since we come back to Europe, we had a bit of a break in between round 2 and 3, and I think everybody as a team, and especially me and my teammate, we thought that break will do everyone good and we'll come back and it gives them time to make the package better. And unfortunately when we arrived in Assen, it wasn't quite how we imagined it, and it's just snowballed a little bit, quite difficult, and everyone's trying the hardest to make the whole situation better and package better, but not quite happened at the moment.
We've been talking to one or two guys in the team while we were waiting for you to finish your track walk earlier. And the definite feeling that you get, even from an outsider's point of view, is that, yes, they understand that there are problems within the project, but everybody is working so hard to make them right, and at HRC director level. Yeah,
that's it. Like this weekend, there's a lot of HRC staff have come on the 600 project just to try and understand and try and bring some ideas. And it's hard. I think if you're sat at home and you're watching every weekend, every weekend you watch me and my teammate ride around, you think, oh, they're still towards the back, like what's going on? But the frustrating thing is that everybody's trying so hard away from the track. Every time we've arrived, or whether it's Assen, Catalunya or Misano, and even this weekend, they've gone away and they've tried something different or doing something slightly different to just try and push forward on this project. And we arrive and we go out on track, and then that creates other problems, and it's not so straightforward as going away, tuning an engine and coming, and then it's suddenly fine and we can go and try and finish in the top 10 and top 5. It doesn't quite work like that. But I think already coming into this weekend, it will be very similar to what it was in Misano, unfortunately. But in saying that, I think already with the only day we've had in Wednesday, and then a little bit of today, they've already understood that what the problem could be going forward, and then hopefully for the remainder of the season we can be a little bit more of a sharp end.
How's it been adapting to the World Superbike paddock for you?
Really good. I've really enjoyed being here, thriving being here. I really liked BSB. And I really enjoyed my time here, but I got a taste of what this paddock was like last year at the wildcard, and I really wanted to be here full time, and doing the flyaways and coming to each European round, not just Donington, is so good. I really enjoy it. I've got a lot of friends here, a lot of old mechanics and staff that I've worked with. I've made new friends, and it's been that side, like I said before we came here, that side's been really enjoyable. I really enjoy that being here and riding on these tracks, and all I keep telling myself is that if I'm enjoying it that much when the results aren't coming, that when they do eventually come, then it will make the whole experience a lot better.
How much have you had to dig into the reserves of patience that you've not had to do before?
I'm quite a calm person and quite patient, and it's definitely tested it at points, but I've not spat my dummy out, I've not thrown my gloves, I've not been kicking and screaming, I've just remain calm the whole time, because again, I want to be here for a long time. I don't want to be acting up or saying anything stupid. Like, I just need to keep my head down for now and just keep working hard. I can only control what I'm doing, so just going away and working hard away from the track, and just trying to be the best possible Tara McKenzie when I arrive at the track. And if that means finishing in 20th place, then that's okay at the moment. Obviously, I'm not happy, and I want to be further up the grid, but that's where we're at, and we just need to keep working hard. And for myself, and yeah, so far I've kept it all under control, and I'm sure it'll test my patience a little bit more this weekend, but I'm confident it'll come good eventually.
Is it teaching you a lot about yourself, or something that you maybe didn't already know?
Yeah, I kind of knew that I was quite calm in situations, but when things have gone wrong over the season, in previous seasons, even in BSB, like for instance, I had a strong championship points lead at this round at Donington, and then we had one more round to go and the bike broke and I lost a chunk of points. But I came in and I can remember all the boys like, God, I can't believe how calm he is. Like, he's just lost a load of points, and it was no one's fault. But there's been times like that over the years that I've maybe understood that I'm not the type of person to come in and kick off. And but it's definitely been more there's definitely been more times over this season already where it has tested my patience, but I've kept a cool head so far.
What's it like riding the 600 now, going back to almost to where you started in BSB Championship after the Motorstar days?
Yeah, really enjoyable. It's really fun. It's less physical, and it's a different type of racing. It is absolutely carnage at the back. When you're riding on the first few laps, you have to definitely settle into it a little bit. I think if you're further up the grid, it'll maybe be a little bit more calm. But riding wise, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's good for me, just using different type of skills. I've got skills and stuff I used to do on a 600 that is kind of in the locker that I've not really had to bring out in Superbike, and it's been nice to kind of relearn and understand riding a different type of bike again. So yeah, that side of it has been cool to try and adapt to riding a 600, and I still feel like I'm learning on that part in some circuits. And yeah, but the whole championship and everything, I'm really enjoying it.
I'm loving this because we had a 20-minute chat with Brad earlier on,
yeah,
and it's like the boys are growing up.
Yeah,
they're maturing, but not quite, just not too much, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the way things have changed from last year, the year before, when we got to know each other, and the same with working with Brad, you can see some really cool subtle differences.
Yeah.
But by being in this paddock.
Yeah, I think me and Brad there was a point in my career in Moto2 where I had to grow up, and I've definitely grown up a little bit this year, I'd say, and that sounds quite bad at 27 that I'm saying that, but I would say Brad's the same. From the early January, we've spent pretty much most weeks with each other, and we've always been close friends, but we've become even closer now. And as I said before we came on as well, that when he's had his struggles or I've had my struggles, we always just try and help each other a little bit, and that side of the friendship has been really cool. And I'm really enjoying seeing him riding World Superbike, and we've had such a laugh. Like you say, we've matured, but I genuinely don't think we have on some parts. Like, it's been, we've had such a funny time. Whenever we see each other, we're always laughing. Brad has his motorhome here, so I'm always going around for cups of tea and stealing his biscuits. But yeah, it's been really enjoyable for both of us, and yeah, hopefully we can both keep progressing.
Has that been a big help to you as well? Because you come into a new team, we know Mick Shanley's in there, and Tim Seed's around this weekend, and Spanner's helping you out as well. So there's friendly faces around.
Yeah.
But having someone of a similar age and going through a similar process, that's got to be helpful for you.
Yeah, it has. Definitely. And we're so new to this journey, coming into this paddock together. We can kind of help each other, even on travel side or doing certain things, even like sorting licenses and all that at the start of the year. We've just kind of helped each other with it. John McPhee, who I've always been really good friends with, he's also in this paddock. So the kind of three of us with his wife, and then Taylor coming along. We have like this little clique that we go for coffees and stuff together, and that side's been really cool, especially with John as well in Supersport side. We've helped each other and kind of vent to each other, and yeah, it's been really cool so far. And like I said, enjoying the whole experience, not just forgetting the riding side, just being here as a whole. And hopefully when the racing side gets a little bit better, it will make a step.
What does, just to touch on that, so we can't talk about it too much because there's so much going on behind the scenes, but just in a more general sense, what's needed to bring the package closer to the front runners?
If I could pick one thing, it would just be acceleration. If you think about Donington, for instance, there's 2 straights and you might lose a certain amount of time on both straights if your bike's lacking on top end. But there's, I don't know how many, 16, 17 corners, and each one has acceleration. And if you just lose 0.2, 0.3 on each acceleration, it just adds up as a whole lap. And it's difficult to follow because you go in the same as the other riders, and then you go to accelerate with them off the corner and you don't really go with them. So that's where the biggest area I think we're struggling. And yeah, okay, a little bit more top end would be nice. I don't think it's so far away. It's towards the bottom of the speed trap, but having acceleration would for sure help a lot. And it's also difficult when you're riding against a Ducati or an MV or a Triumph that have naturally built to have a lot of grunt, so it's difficult to race sometimes. But I feel like me and my teammate are riding quite good, and if we can just get little bits here and there, little marginal gains just to help us a little bit more, it will make a big difference. So yeah, that's the biggest thing.
You've ridden the Superbike recently, and you've been out to Suzuka.
Yeah.
Look at the grin on the face. Look at that. Now there's a story.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, mate, because that looks incredible.
Yeah, so the idea for me coming into this paddock is to always get back to Superbike and ride a Superbike, and Midori and all of the team know that. The idea was to test the Superbike at points over the year. So after Assen, in Assen, I got asked to test the Superbike in Misano. And then in Catalonia, I got asked to ride the 8-hour bike for a private HRC test, which was really unexpected. I got called in for a meeting and I didn't know what was going to happen. And then I walked out with a massive grin on my face, and I'm getting to go to Japan to ride a HRC bike. So that side's been really cool. And if I'm honest, it's probably kept me going a little bit. I've not been allowed to say certain things about the Superbike job. So people are just kind of seeing the Supersport thing and, why are you carrying on? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But when I've got things in the pipeline, riding a Superbike, that's been really, really enjoyable for me. And as you saw the smile on my face, it's been so much fun. The Misano test was difficult. Weather wasn't great, and just trying to understand the bike first time was quite difficult. But I've tested twice now at Suzuka. The first time was a real eye-opener, but a really good experience. And I left that test feeling like my old self again, feeling confident and remembering that I can ride a bike when everything's right. And then unfortunately Ika got injured in Misano, so I got asked back to go for the second Suzuka test, and again went really good. And it's just been, I don't know, it's just been a pleasure getting to ride that bike, especially in Suzuka, and feel really privileged to have been asked.
How different is that as a pretty much a full fat Suzuka? Because we know what the Suzuka bikes are like. They're trick as fuck.
Yeah.
They really are. They're amazing bits of kit.
Yeah.
And riding Suzuka before, which I guess was your first time.
First time, yeah. It's the first test was just a private test. So there was me and Takumi Takahashi riding around. We had the track to ourselves, which I wasn't allowed to post anything about it, but it was incredible. And then the second time I rode was with an official test where all the other Suzuka teams were there. There was like 60 bikes on track. So, but yeah, it was just really cool to be a part of it. I've never really experienced something like that. I've ridden factory supported bikes like the McCams bike and BSB. But when I arrived there and there's like 20, 30 HRC staff and they're all there for just you and whoever else was there, Chavi or Takumi, it was a real like incredible experience, and hopefully I'm not sure if I'll race, but I'll definitely go to the race. So just to go and experience all of that and be a part of it is really cool. So something I wasn't expecting at all. Especially with the season I've been having, it's been difficult, but it's nice that they can kind of see the big picture and understand who TAZ MACKENZIE is, and he can ride a bike when everything's all right. And yeah, it's been great experience so far.
I think it's important to get that across, because when you work in the sport, and we know a few people, and you understand why you made the move that you did to the team that you did, and all right, maybe the package isn't quite what you anticipated when you signed on the dotted line, but there's so much goes on behind the scenes and so many things that need to make a ride, especially in this paddock. It's world level racing. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I think it's testament to you and the foresight that you can take the ride knowing, and we said this at the NEC, didn't we? It puts you in the paddock. It puts you in the spotlight. And if this can turn into a 2-year deal, we don't know what it would lead to next year.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And my biggest thing was I just wanted a foot in the door, whether it was coming to ride a Supersport bike or a super bike, or I just wanted to be in here. And there's been so many things that have happened that just from me being in this paddock that wouldn't have happened if I was in BSB. So it was it's definitely like I have all manner of messages and people talking and all that I've made the wrong decision, but I don't think they realise that I feel like I've made the right decision so much more than I ever thought. And okay, like you said, the package hasn't been great, and it's not what everyone thought it was, not just myself, the team also, and they're pushing hard and working hard to make it right. And I'm confident with everyone that's involved in the 600 side especially that we can make it right. And it's been a tough step so far, but I feel like it can't get any worse than it is at the moment. So so far it's been good.
I think because you made the step to Moto2, didn't you, briefly, which you were young at that point to make that step, and it didn't go as well as you would have liked.
No.
The package was completely different to what you were anticipating. So to take that step again into almost the unknown shows the hunger that's there, because you could have stayed the next 10 or 15 years in BSB, which is a great championship. You could have made a great living from it.
Yeah.
But when you look at, as we said previously, if you look at what Neil Hodgson did, you look what JT had done.
Yeah.
People and Johnny and the rest who've all come through BSB, it's not always a stepping stone. Glenn Irwin's doing a great job. Danny Buchan's doing a great job. Brooksy, they're all working their asses off in BSB. But you're still at that age where you can go, do you know what? I can go and do something else.
Yeah.
And I think to take that chance was brave, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, I could have stayed in BSB for the next 10 years if I really wanted to. But for me, that would have been boring. And I don't want to, I would have hated to have got to the end of my career and thought, yeah, I've had a good BSB career, but what if I'd just made that step and took a Supersport ride or something like that? And I felt like these opportunities don't come around often. I got told by certain someone, I won't name his name, but he said, you can't just fucking pick and choose when you go to World Championship, like these offers don't come around all the time. And it's so true. And I'm so glad I've took the opportunity I've had, and building such a relationship with Midori Moriwaki, who's like got such a big name in motorsport and been going to Japan and seeing all that side of it has been great. And it's been, I was so comfortable in BSB with Steve and all of the McCams guys, and I could quite easily have stayed there again. But I think maybe they thought I was a bit stupid leaving, but I felt like the time was right. I'd had a tough season last year and I wanted to make that step. And as I said, coming here now and experiencing being in a different team, and I've been really fortunate I've come into a good team with Midori. She's so nice and so supportive, and nothing's ever a problem. And working with guys like Mick Shanley and carrying on with my crew chief with Chris Anderson has made the step a lot easier for sure. And all the other guys have been really welcoming. So it's been great, and just long may it continue.
The one thing that I think will make people understand just how important the decision was, if you go back to November and the opportunity comes up to sign for the team knowing what you know now, would you still have signed?
If there was a testing a Suzuka 8-hour bike and still testing the Superbike, for sure, yeah, 100%. And if you'd said I'd maybe had the season some people are having in BSB at the moment where it's not going to plan, after the year I'd had last year when it definitely didn't go to plan, then yeah, 100%. And last year, or winning the championship was great. Didn't particularly want to come back and do a BSB, but I was happy to. And then I had the year I had. Who's to say something unlucky couldn't have happened this year, and then I would have been in the same position, sat in A&E going, what am I doing here? Like, I want to be in World Superbike. Like, I should have just taken that opportunity. So, yeah, 100%. Okay, it might look difficult on the outside, but as I said, the enjoyment factor away from riding has been a lot more, and I love BSB, but the enjoyment factor, it kind of took it away a little bit last year. I don't know why. I didn't feel as happy being in the paddock. I was always seemed to be injured, and that side of it, I enjoyed riding the bike, and when you got results was great. But that was probably one of the reasons I came here, is because I stopped enjoying BSB. To go into the off season like I did after winning the championship was hard, and then being injured and motivation, it was difficult. And then thinking, I don't really want to be here. I want to be in World Superbike. It was hard, and I just needed to get out at any point, and whatever the opportunity was, I needed to go. And yeah, I know it's been difficult, but people might think I'm mad, and maybe I am, and maybe 10 years time we'll think, what was I doing? But at the moment, I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and it can only get better.
It can. In terms of it being difficult, the start to last year with the injuries at Cartagena, and then the injury at Silverstone, which just compounded everything, was a horrendous start to the season. Sure, for me, that was a more difficult start to the year than this one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was physical. This is probably a little bit more mental.
Yeah, 100%. And even mentally last year was hard, because I had the wildcard planned in Assen. I didn't know if I was going to be fit coming for this round, and I felt like I had to do these wildcards to make an impression to come here. And when you're sat at home, or you're in the hyperbaric chamber, and you're thinking, God, like, when's this ever going to end? Like, am I even going to get to do these wildcards? Am I going to come to this paddock? So mentally it was hard on that side as well. So not just physically. So yeah, the other thing is just being fit and being here, and it's been great. And the biggest thing I had last year was doing the wildcard and coming here and experience it. And even the McCams guys, they loved it and said what a nice paddock it is. And after that, I thought, do you know what? I need to just come here and experience it, even if it's just for a year. And hopefully it will be for many, many years now. And yeah, it's I keep saying it's been good, which it's been good in some scenarios and not others. And yeah, I've got a smile on my face, so that's the biggest thing.
And it's something that you're always open and honest, and it's something that I really enjoy. And if you weren't enjoying it, you wouldn't be smiling, because you're not one that can adjust. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't paint that smile on.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do that. We've known that over the years. It's never easy to do. So it's great to see that you're genuinely happy here.
No,
and we wish you many more years to come in that.
Yeah.
One thing that I've asked all the guys that we've spoken to today, when you get to Argentina, middle of October, and you're sat in the departure lounge waiting to come home, what would make as you look back, what would make the season satisfactory for you? What would you need to achieve?
Definitely have a contract in place for the year after. that would make the flight home a little bit easier, which hopefully will all go to plan. But I think results wise, and it's no disrespect to the others, but I feel like if I had a competitive package, I could 100% be riding in the top 10. So I feel like if I can have a package underneath me that can just build on track to track, and tracks I know, fight for top 10 positions, that would be great. And if there's an iffy condition, mixed cold BSB type scenario going on, I'll 100% stick my neck on the line. So, but yeah, for 100% to be sorted to come here next year and to just be enjoying the racing side of it, enjoying going out on the bike, and look forward to coming to riding. That's my as simple as it sounds. That's what I'd like to be in the departure lounge. Business class on the way home would be nice as well. In the business lounge.
In the business lounge would be nice, yeah. And maybe, you never know, you might get that ride at Suzuka as well.
Yeah.
You never know what's coming up.
No, exactly. And most likely go as a reserve rider.
Yeah.
So I'll still be part of it, and we'll be set and ready to go and have to prepare as if I am going. So I hope Ika and Chavi, they've had not the easiest of seasons. Ika's been here, there and everywhere riding MotoGP bikes and has been injured, so it'll be nice if and it'll be Chavi's first time racing it, so it'll be nice if those boys can put a job together. But if I get to ride, then great.
Brilliant. That smile's going to be even wider. And Taz, thank you so much for your time, mate. We wish you all the very best for this weekend at home and for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up again at some point in the not too distant future, I'm sure. But good luck, mate.
Thank you. Cheers, Dave.